Hey everyone, this is me attempting my first pick a card. I know I told quite a few of you, my very few lovely viewers, that I would do some past life stuff, and today I got the nudge that this would be the day to try the past life stuff. So I have 4 decks here. You can pick from these. I've got, let's see, I've got the Modern Witch Tarot with the Emerald. I've got the Starman Tarot with this Titanium Kyanite, which is really cool. I feel like it really fits the Starman energy. Then I got the Muse Tarot with this Sapphire. It's a nice pink sapphire. And then I have the Millennium. I'm just going to say Millennium Toth with this. And what was this called again? Like a kind of smoky quartz, like a nice smoky quartz. And then I got 5 oracle decks. So we're gonna see how this goes. I have my handy pendulum here to help. But I've got these Phoenix past life energy cards, and they're just images. And I totally forgot the book, but I think I remember a lot of them. Basically, you would see whatever image comes out, you can see if it like relates to something. When I do these readings for myself, it usually ends up being a lot of Googling, which can be interesting. I mean, if you like that sort of thing, I personally like Wikipedia rabbit holes. I also have another past life deck, and that's the one that's going to be interesting to see how to use this one, because it's like 5 different types. If I was going in the real in-depth reading, I would pick one from each of these. It's like your occupation, the environment you lived in, the theme of that life, like the place it might have been, the location, and like how you died, which can be a little triggering. So just to warn you if it happens to come out, I think I'll find some kind of intuitive way to draw those cards without going too into it. And then I have the Akashic Records Oracle. I think generally it's a good idea to pull 3 cards for this. The more in-depth reading, you'll pull 7 cards. But yeah, I'm just going to do 3. And then I have the Past Life Oracle cards, Doreen Virtue's Past Life Oracle cards. Those, I think just 1 might do. I like huge reading. I've got like all these cards, but like I don't want to say like my brain can handle it, but like I don't get overwhelmed by too much energy. I'm going to be a little less bombarding you with cards here. And then I have the Kim Cran's Wild Unknown Archetypes guidebook, and I'll probably just pull one of those at the end to see if there's like any other kind of theme there. So like I said, I have these 4 decks. And I'll start with the Modern Witch, if that's the one you chose. So yeah, let me get into it. High Pile 1 with the Emerald and Modern Witch Tarot. So I'm going to pull the Oracle cards first on this, and then I'll get the Tarot for some more information. So I'll just put that to the side. Let me put your nice Emerald there. So I'm going to go first with the Phoenix cards and see what comes out for that. Hopefully, yeah, I'm just gonna try and only pull 1. Let's see. Slight careful shuffling, not my usual haphazard shuffling. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go with this one, and I'm gonna wait a sec to pull it over because I don't want to get distracted. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna lay these then. Let's see, I don't think I want to pull 1 from each, so I'm just gonna see which one I should pull. Let's see. Okay, not occupation. Not team. Not that. Okay, environment. Not that. Okay, so it's the environment I'm going to pull for this one. Let's see. We have here. If you never used a pendulum, basically when you program it, you figure out what's yes and no for you. I'm going to go with that one. Okay, put that there. And then, let's see, Akashic Records. Okay. Okay. And basically for the Akashic Records, let's see if I can put this here. Let's see. I don't want it to be off screen. You pull 3, and the first one you pull is like the overall message here. So it's usually in the middle. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, I'm probably still gonna have to move this over a bit. No. Enough room. I like arranging. Move these back a bit. Okay. Then now, past life oracle. I get a little crazy arranging the cards. Let's see. Hopefully just one from here. That's my plan. Just one. This one. All right. So let's get ready to see what we have here. It's like suspenseful. All right, first for the Phoenix. Oh, okay. So I do know this one. Joy. So this is like Byzantine, I think. So this is, I can't remember. So some of these cards don't represent an actual culture. They just represent like a concept. But this one is kind of like, if I'm remembering correctly, like Byzantine, like Russian, like very far back in Russian history. If Byzantine is Russian, like this is like really testing my geography. Oh, and then we have Forest 33. Okay. So 33 Forest. And then I'll go with this one in the middle first. Heart Chakra 18. Okay, and then look, there's more green there. Then Angels. Okay. Then Children. Interesting. Then this one, Atlantis. So that's always the risk for me in these readings, like trying to figure out how these things all connect. But you know, when it comes to like Atlantis and any kind of past life energies, you know, when Atlantis sank, the people went to different parts of the world. So if there's any kind of connection, it would something you would probably have to look up. That's what I did a lot, is kind of look up these connections. Like, you know, if you have Atlantis in Egypt, there's actually a connection there. If you have like Atlantis and say like South America, there's probably a connection to the Lemurians, which Lemuria existed before Atlantis. And when Lemuria stank, Atlantis rose. So yeah, anyway, like these ancient peoples moved to so many different places. So there could be a connection here between people who came from Atlantis but settled like more in that Central European area. And with this like forest and heart chakra, you know, the heart chakra here, I think the forest kind of like reinforces, well, the heart chakra here, I should say, is like giving that general theme of greenery and forest. I don't know if you have like, feel at peace maybe in green spaces, specifically forests. Yeah. So either way, when it's like this with the Akashic Records, right, this being the theme, it's telling me that this life is about working on your heart chakra. And this could be through children. Like if you have children, if you're a parent in this lifetime, this could be you being a parent, you choosing to be a parent is designed to maybe heal or upgrade your heart chakra, or, you know, give you that heart center awakening, which is going to lead to more upgrades in your overall energy and abilities, just everything. And with the angels, this angels card says that you spent a past life with a connection to the angels. And with this kind of like church imagery here in the Byzantine card, you might have had like a pretty like pious background, maybe not necessarily religious, but you might have had that as a profession or an occupation, that you were like a person who communed with the divine on behalf of other people. And, you know, I feel like there's probably like a nature aspect to this because of the forest and, you know, the screen of the heart chakra. Yeah, like it's not where else? Yeah, I think it'd be worth looking up. I start thinking about these things and then I start getting curious and I want to Google, but yeah, let's get some tarot on this. So really, I think the best thing about past life readings and the whole purpose of them is to kind of think about what you need to work on now in this life, like what kind of karma or lessons you're here to learn, or what abilities you should tap into. And, you know, with the angels here and this kind of like past energy here, you probably have like a stronger connection to the divine. And if you haven't been able to tap into that, it's probably something you're being encouraged to do. And in order to do so, you might have to open up your heart chakra, because honestly, that's the center of our being, is the heart chakra. When that's blocked, it doesn't allow you the proper pathway between energies. So yeah, this could be done through, you know, developing a relationship with your children, or even just working with children if you don't have children of your own. You know, whether you're like a teacher, you know, daycare worker, or maybe you just run charities, or maybe you're just a very cool aunt or uncle, you know, one way or another. And if you're like one of those who are choosing to be child free, you know, and you don't want any children of your own, and which is totally fine, there might be some kind of aspect of your own childhood, like healing that might lead to that heart center awakening or healing inside, you know. So it's not necessarily about other people's children. It could be like your own childhood. Let's see how many. Okay. I think I'm just gonna grab 5 here. Oh, and bottom of the deck is Queen of Cups. So yeah, that's definitely reinforcing that heart chakra. So we got 3 of Wands. We got the Chariot. We've got Strength. We've got 2 of Pentacles. And then we got 8 of Wands. So already there's a lot of movement energy here with the Chariot and the 8 of Wands. And obviously also the 8 of Wands is communication. So strength here. And this like Queen of Cups at the bottom. I think there's a bit here about communicating from the heart, I think. You know, here in the 2 of Pentacles, I sense like a wavering energy. Like you're a little bit uncertain when it comes to speaking your truth about things, especially when it relates to your feelings. With the 3 of Wands, with this really feels like isolating to me, like isolating yourself because you're having so much struggle communicating your feelings, right? And I'm also noticing here there's like not a lot of greenery. There's greenery here, but there's not greenery in these 2. So I'm just getting the vibe that maybe, you know, with the forest energy being here, that you're feeling maybe a little bit deprived is what I'm getting. One way or another, I think you might feel out of place where you are. And with this Chariot and the 8 of Wands, you know, and the motorcycle and moving, it's almost like you don't feel at home where you are. Maybe it's a little bit too different from what you're used to. If in a, you know, especially in a past life, if you were more green area, forested area, you might not be used to wherever it is you are. Like, yeah, this 3 of Wands kind of staring out on the coast or in the water. It also is like a lot. That also kind of feels like wanting to go somewhere. Like, yes, this is like the waiting card and like looking out on the horizon, but it also like seems like wanting to go as well, wanting to move. I don't know if you are by water or you'd like to be by water. You know, with this Atlantis here, if you have that kind of background, I don't know if it's something lost to you. If you like being by the coast, or maybe you were born by the coast, and how do you connect with the water, right? Where do you most feel at home in a natural setting? Do you prefer to be by the water? Do you prefer the forest? Do you like the urban life? Do you like the desert? I think your environment, especially since the environment was the one that they wanted for you, I think your environment has a big impact on your overall well-being. So I think there's a need to find where you, which setting you gain the most energy in, if that makes sense. Like what grounds you the most. You know, some people like go forest bathing, you know, or people like to go by the ocean, or to find peace in the desert. I feel like each environment has its own benefit, but I think you need to find the one that has the most benefit for you. I think it'll be key in kind of getting this this heart chakra opened for you, or, you know, just to get those energies moving. Because this Queen of Cups here, I think this is kind of the theme of this lifetime, is kind of mastering, I'd say, the unconditional love. Because also with these angels and children here, like children, the love of children and loving children, that's really unconditional love. And angels are also love you unconditionally. So I think, yeah, that is a big theme here, a big lesson that you need to learn this lifetime. And with the Two of Pentacles, like I said, I feel like that's like wavering energy. Three of Wands. I'm also getting like disappointment from this. So I think there's a lot of past disappointment from things maybe not working out for you as well. And maybe like a family situation where you weren't supported, maybe you were orphaned, one or the other, might make you waver on this. And also with the Two of Pentacles and the Wands theme, it's like really not being in touch with yourself as much, maybe. Like not your thoughts, not your feelings, you know, more focused on like material or outside passions. Yeah, I think it's definitely a call to get deeper within yourself and work that out. So I'm going to pull an archetype card and see if there's any kind of additional. And I might look at the book for that because the book has like really cool tidbits. And this deck, it's really cool. It's not easy to shuffle at all. And also, I think with the kind of the environment being a theme, you might have to clear your space somehow, or just if you recently moved to a new place, just clear the space and make it your own. And there are a couple ways to do that. You know, whether it be via like sound, smoke cleansing, you know, certain crystals, etc., or just give it a good cleaning. Okay, nice. We have, oh, you know, forgive me, Final Fantasy hasn't gone up this high, so I don't know what that is. Is that like 50, 67 maybe? And it's the stone. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. Let's see. The stone, the eternal, the anchor, the rock. As an archetypal object, the stone holds psychic and literal weight. Its energy is one of permanence, concreteness, and reliability. The stone is best used to anchor our wild side, so no matter how far we roam, we can always find our way back. The stone tethers us to earth, helping to ground and connect us to stillness, quiet, and peace. When this card appears, it is likely the stone is a remedy for what ails us. Humble and easily unnoticed, the power of the stone balances the frenzy of our world. Let's see. So yeah, maybe if you're familiar, maybe you're so also I'm getting from here like grounding, so I think that's also why the forest and the green and the greenery is coming out. So I think you do need to feel more secure in your space and ground yourself, especially if you did, because also that too, the Angels card says like you spent past lives in the angelic realm, and if you did spend a past life on a different dimension or different plane, it can be an adjustment to be on Earth, just to be human. So you might have to, so the whole point of incarnating here on Earth is to have that experience of being a human, of connecting with Earth and sensation and things like that. So you might be missing that key part of being human. And also with the stone, it's telling me maybe you should look into getting some stones for your house. Quartz is really good. Selenite's really good. It's pretty easy to find those things. If you can find a local shop and support your local shop, you know, go in and maybe ask them what they recommend. I have like quartz everywhere. I have selenite everywhere. I have like a giant selenite lamp that could probably kill somebody, really. So it serves as a double serves as a weapon. You know, I don't recommend like fighting somebody with that though. So that's it, pile one. And you know, I hope this was interesting for you. I'll do more if there's any interest. Yes, thank you. Hi, pile two. You chose the Starman Tarot with the titanium kyanite. Look how cool this is. Wah, wah. Let me just put this right here. But first, we will do the Oracle cards. So I'll do the Phoenix cards first. Yeah, I think this is called Phoenix Reincarnation deck. You know, it was not very easy to get some of these decks. Some of them are like old and out of print, which actually makes it kind of cooler to try and get them. Like, it's like having to go find ancient knowledge, and by, you know, not like going to tombs or like random temples, but, you know, Googling a little bit more. All right, let's see. Kind of feel drawn to two. Let me see. Should I get two? No. Is this the right one? Okay. Yes, I'm going to rely on the pendulum. So I'll put this over here. See if it's still on. Okay. Whoop. Alright, let's see. Do I want to do that one now? I forget what I did. Okay, let's see which one we want. Okay, we've got environment. Do we want environment? Yes. Occupation? No. Theme? Yes. What is this again? No. This? No. Okay, so got these two. Alright, let's see. Everything fits in. I want this on. Okay, let's see. Get cozy cards. Alright, let's do Cache of Records. And I'm not flipping them over until I drew them all. Sometimes it could be a little distracting. I don't want to start thinking about things until I saw the full picture. And maybe I have to explain this again. To me, the point of past life readings is to talk about themes that you need to deal with in this life, like things that are kind of lingering. So the idea is not to get too hung up on what you did in your past life, more so like the lessons you need to learn. I think it's like cool anyway. Like if you tell me I was like a monk or something, I think that's just sort of cool. Let's see, we might be a little bit of squeeze here, not a big deal. And when I do these readings, and I've done them for myself and a couple for others, it can be like a ton of cards. So much. Untitled. Alright. Let's turn them over. Got this. That is the Gypsy amulet. We got Riverine as the environment. Mesopotamia as, the location. That's right. This is the location. Sometimes forget what the symbols mean. Interesting. And then we got love, 22. Ooh, root chakra. And then religion. Well, that's interesting already. Oh, what's this one, right? Angels. Angels again. Well, so with this one being in the middle, that's kind of what you need to work on this life. So, like, that's, like, really grounding. Gypsy, Mesopotamia. So, I don't know if you're a religious person. In a past life, I'm getting indication with this Gypsy and Mesopotamia. What do I even remember about Mesopotamia? This is like this huge history lesson. Something tells me here, in this life, you were not with a religion, but yet you were drawn to it. And it was probably because of this fascination or connection to angels that you were attracted to religion. And maybe you might have also been drawn to it because you were in love with somebody. Like a relationship brought you to religion or put you put you in that direction, okay? And Mesopotamia, that's what the two rivers, right? How's it? The Tigris and the Euphrates? Yeah. I don't want to start Googling here, guys. But that kind of makes sense if you were living there. So gypsy culture, when I read, it might have, I think they said it could have originated. So if you read anything about, like, I don't even know if you want to call them myths or not, but when it comes to like Atlantis, Lemuria, and kind of like these ancient or indigenous cultures we don't know a lot about, but seem to have all these advancements. What is like when Atlantis sank, and Lemuria, like when those two islands sank, people went to several different areas. South America to become the indigenous there, like the Incas. Egypt to become the ancient Egyptians. The Aboriginals, and some of them went to India. And they said, I think here, that gypsy culture like is from like people who settled in India from Atlantis or Lemuria and kind of moved upwards through Europe. So that I'm thinking of that oh gosh, I just realized I'm only recording an SD. I forgot to clean out my my SD card. Whatever. Hopefully this doesn't look all crappy. I'm gonna just have to pause after this. Anyway, so with Mesopotamia, in order to get from India to Central Europe, which is where I guess was it the Roma? I don't like talking about these things without knowing the exact facts because I don't have the book in front of me. But this might have been a kind of migration situation, and considering like time periods and things when religion, the religions that we know came about, Christianity, Islam, etc. There might have been some kind of, it might have been like a new encounter with for you in this lifetime, and you might have felt that connection with the divine, with the angels, and given how much of kind of like angelic imagery and stories exist in Christianity as opposed to maybe other religions, this might have seemed to you to be the correct path. So I feel in this lifetime, and I'll get tarot cards to see if there's anything else. There's probably a part of you that feels some connection to like those sort of institutions, and as like a sense of security, because if there's love associated with it, it's like a whole entire root of your being, like the home, security, things like that. So there might be some draw to those things, even if in this lifetime you're not really, say you just don't like church, or even if you do, right? Even given like how society is changing and kind of getting away from the church being the center of our culture, you know, you might still be very much drawn to the church, and it could be because it does offer you that sense of security and home that you may not fully understand, and it's likely because of a past life connection with and especially with like the gypsies in Roma being like a kind of like nomad type thing. Maybe that's where you finally settled, and that's what was home to you. So that could also be, and maybe there's this urge in you too to want to keep moving, or you're just either an urge to keep moving or an urge to stay in one place, one or the other. And it's like these things, it's very important for you in this lifetime to gain your true security and stability, you know, really put down roots, if you will. I'd say it'd be interesting to see if you still feel this kind of connection to the angelic realm or not. Let's see what the tarot has. Okay, first we have 5 of Cups, Prince of Wands, 3 of Swords, 9 of Cups, God, Judgment, I'm gonna draw this. And then we got 2 Pentacles at the bottom, you can see. So, yeah, I'm seeing love here is an issue. With 3 of Swords and 5 of Cups, and even Prince of Wands, which is Knight of Wands. If you, this is kind of in Judgment too. This kind of like indicates maybe a turn to religion after kind of being a little bit of a, I don't know how you want to say. I don't like to say player because that's kind of cheesy. Maybe just sowing your wild oats a little bit too much. And there being some kind of, with the 3 of Swords, 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups is like regret. And 3 of Swords is heartbreak. Yeah, and then this Judgment really is like an awakening. You know, normally it's like an angel. You know, in a traditional tarot, it's normally an angel looking above you. And I think it's, maybe it's Gabriel, that's above. So it's like maybe at some point there was some kind of awakening, and maybe this connection to the angelic realm, or just this want for religion came like one of those how you say, like, born again, even though I know that's like a specific Christian thing, but it does seem like the turn to religion, if this happened for you, it was a way, because in a past life it was a sense of security for you, might have been come after like a really kind of wild life. And this Nine of Cups, you know, is kind of giving me the indulgence energy, the more shadow side of it. Like, you might have indulged a little bit too much in life, you know, whether it be carnally or with the alcohol, you know, because I'm seeing here, like, you know, these cups here. So I think, you know, in this life, I think you're being guided to really explore that connection more. Maybe in terms of religion, you're just kind of going through the motions, and I think you might be being asked. And I'm not saying like this is necessarily like Christian religion. Just like if you have some kind of religion or spiritual community you're part of, you might be being asked to get in touch with that deeper connection, especially with this love here. I think before, if you were kind of being more shallow in your interactions, it's because you were closed off in the heart space. So yeah, this is just look for that deeper connection and understand it in your life. I think in order to figure out, also, it'd be just like a nice thing to do to figure out why it offers you so much security. You know, not because you need to go questioning that it's not a positive thing, but it's also just like a good thing to know because it's a soul lesson of yours this lifetime. And wow, I really hope the quality is like not super dropping in here. In the early days of YouTube, many mistakes were made. All right. Let's go with this. We've got the creator. Nice. 22. So the creator's like, you know, God, you know, that guy or gal or person. The artist, the alchemist, the innovator. The creator, the first archetype in the tree of existence, is not intimidated by darkness or lack. They know that from the void, creation inevitably emerges. Yes. Okay, the creator does this, let's see. Though generative, this archetype annihilates preconceived notions of what is possible, leaving unexpected openings in the wake of its destruction. The creator does this by first being absolutely present to what is, not imagining or wishing things were different, and second, trusting that a force greater than themselves awaits, constant collaboration with each human soul. Whether we call it nature, God, goddess, Shakti, or divinity, it remains nameless. It is the creator's lifelong companion. So yeah, I think it's telling you to get in touch with those higher energies. And yes, my camera's just about to run out, so yes, that's what I have for you, Pile 2. Hi, Pile 3, you chose the Muse Tarot with this lovely pink sapphire. Isn't it pretty? Oh, I forgot to move this one. So we'll do the Oracle decks first. This is the Phoenix Reincarnation deck. And I'm only gonna pull one of these. Let's see. Going for this one. Alright. Then 2 of these. So what I've been doing here, these, normally when you do, I do full reading, or you would do a full reading, you would pull from all 5 of these, but I want this to be a bit more concise, so I'm just gonna see which ones they want me to pull. Termination. Oops. So we'll see how you died. Theme. Oh no. It doesn't want to answer. Okay, no. It's fine for me, but not this reading. Okay. Occupation. No. Environment. Yes. Big theme on environment. Location. Okay, so it's gonna be 3 for you. Okay, which one should I go for first? I'm not gonna flip them over until I've drawn them all. Let's see, go for that one. Let's see. This one. Then I think maybe to keep this even, just might get kind of crowded. Let's go here. I'll do this one first. And now I'm wondering, so I ran out of room on my card last reading. And I thought maybe it might have dropped the quality, but maybe it didn't. We'll find out. This is all a learning process for me. Kind of feel drawn to another one. This one. Okay, and let's do the archetypes. So as I explained in the other cards, or yeah, with the other piles, me looking at past life is about seeing what you need to deal with this life. So while it's like very interesting to learn you were a monk or something, or you know, you were in a war or just anything like that, the whole point is what themes are relevant now and what is your soul lesson for this life. And that's what these Akashic Records cards will help with. Goodness. All right. Let's turn these over. Oh wow, the Byzantine one again. Wow. This came out in pile 1 if you were drawn to both. Ooh. That's a death by disease. So if you're really health conscious this lifetime. Oh, environment is a town. Okay. Well, towns do tend to carry disease further. Rome. Okay. And that's what can happen sometimes. How does this connect here? This is, I keep saying Byzantine. I hope that's right. But I mean, a lot of stuff in that area. Asia. See, Rome, Asia, and this like Russia This stuff, I'm telling you. Vows, though. Vows that... I'll get to that one, though. That's a pretty big one. And then we got fear, ego, drama. Throat chakra. Cosmic lives. Okay, so this is really all over the place. So already, if you chose this pile, you probably have had quite a few lifetimes on Earth. And not on Earth. So there's that. You're probably an old soul. And yeah. With fear, ego, drama, though. Likely you are here to resolve some big karma, right? That's like the only... When you've had so many lives, the only reason to keep coming back is, one, you still have stuff to sort out that can only be sorted out here. Or two, you're here to help the ascension process. And I can't really tell by that right now. Even though throat chakra is here, that could be someone who's kind of meant to speak up and help people in some way. But there's obviously some clear blockages here. But if there's like some, fear, ego, drama to sort out, it's likely due to this disease, dying by disease. Likely this was very traumatic, and that's why they wanted, and by they, I mean like spirit guides, wanted it to be drawn. So you might have you might be a little germophobic, you might, I hate to say it like this, if you have hypochondriac tendencies, or you're one of those who's constantly on WebMD and Googling symptoms and things. And also with this cosmic lives, it could be because you're not used to life on Earth too, with all these germs and concerns that we have down here. And cosmic lives, that can also indicate like a higher connection to somebody else too. And that could have been like the drama that you've been going through. But overall, I think there's a lesson in speaking up to maybe resolve this drama in vows in Asia. So the connection between Asia, Rome, and this, Russia back in the day, essentially, that can be, just having different lives, not only different lifetimes, but maybe some connection to more ancient times. The people of Atlantis and Lemuria that kind of spread out after those islands sank. There could be some connection to that. But the vows, I wonder the vows next to Asia. I mean, there's a religious theme in this card too. But you could have been a monk or something like that. And the thing about also vows, and I'm wondering how this might relate to disease. So when you have vows come out in a past life reading, it could indicate you have some blockages due to past life vows of poverty, celibacy, obedience. So if you have any kind of problem, some people say you're afraid of success or abundance, like you don't have a good relationship with money, it could be because of a past life vow of poverty. If you have trouble with intimacy, it could be because of a past life vow of celibacy. If you feel like it's very hard for you to disobey your parents, or you're a real stickler for the rules, but to your detriment, like it's not natural for you, like you feel like this inner sense of shame, like you have to follow rules or be what people expect you to be, that can also be past life vows. And they're not hard to break. And, if you're open to it, there's basically a very simple way. You just basically say you rescind all vows for the highest good of everyone involved across all lifetimes. And that seems like not as ceremonial as you think, but I've done it for a few times. I've had the vows come up quite a few times. And it's just something it's just a way to kind of examine like your own inner blockages regarding these things, like money, intimacy, obedience, etc. So I think I'm gonna go and pull tarot. I wonder, so the town thing, and with so many different locations, maybe in this case, if you have this kind of fear of like germs or just new things, your past lives, you might have been moving around a lot, and maybe you feel more of an urge to settle, or you don't like leaving your own hometown or something like that. But with the imagery and the disease in town looking the same, it almost seems like, you know, when you did settle down, that's when you succumbed to the disease. So I don't know how that fear might manifest in this lifetime. Are you know, not willing to settle down, or do you want to settle down? What do you feel about living around other people? Like, are you the type that prefers to live further out, or you purposely live way far away from cities and town centers because you just don't generally feel safe, you know? And you know, with this pandemic, there's probably some of that kind of fear surfacing too. Like, you're just not safe in the cities. Yeah. So just examine how that might be coming up. Let's see. First we have Knight of Voices. So it's like that throat chakra too. 10 of Inspiration, Burdens. Even though that's interesting, there's like cows here and like jugs. So this also gives me kind of like, if you were more nomadic, maybe that being a routine, but maybe not a pleasant routine. 9 of Materials. And then 4 of Emotions at the bottom. It's kind of disappointment. And I'm going to take that out, because I'm like getting the feeling of being disappointed. If you spend a lot of time off Earth, you know, whether you be a starseed or you just had incarnations off Earth, it might not have been as pleasant of an experience for you. You know, I can imagine in like the early days of a soul incarnating here, with all the things that could happen, you might have just chose not to come back for a while. And that's what that cosmic lives. But there's lessons to be learned here. And I think like there's just maybe your general nature, like this 4 voices, Knight of Voices. Your general nature is to be at peace, you know, not cause conflict, not, you know, just generally be a peaceful person. And if you've gotten into these situations, like in this lifetime, and who knows in past lifetimes, in which there's been just a lot of inability to speak up, or a lot of conflict with this fear, ego, drama, it might be very hard for you. And maybe this vows is more on the obedience level. Like this could be like parental issues here, like not being able to speak up against your parents. And 9 of Materials, I'm seeing like this inner need, you know, that's like 9 of Pentacles energy. Just kind of want to be happy and free on your own, and maybe even just avoid connections altogether. You know, it just doesn't, with the 4 of Emotions, it feels like it just doesn't really work out for you, you know. Too much conflict, too much things going on. Just in general, I'm getting a sense of like past lives that were like a little bit too difficult for you, where either, you know, there bad things happen when you're around people, or you just chose to not be around people at all. So yeah, moving around, not being around people, who knows. Yeah, I like the imagery here in this Ten of Inspiration, like this nice red desert. Maybe that's what you preferred, you know, to be kind of away from things. And Knight of Voices, I think the lesson here is learning how to deal with people, how to speak up and express yourself properly. With throat chakra is not just speaking, it's also like being your true self. And, you know, the Nine of Materials, being like comfortable with yourself and who you are, expressing that to the world seems to be like a big lesson here. When it comes to, you know, the themes of Rome, I think these things here, since this is kind of, it's a general pick a card, you can't know how it might exactly apply to your situation, but these things are always like, it might just be something that's interest you, or, you know, you might have kind of always felt connected in some way to that culture, like that history. So yeah, it's worth looking into. But yeah, I think overall this is about just learning to express yourself, to feel comfortable. You know, because this Knight of Voices, it's not giving me the usual Knight of Swords energy when it's like super impulsive or insensitive, which you could be. But I think it's like a healthier balance of that energy versus the more negative aspects of that energy. But yeah, it'd probably be a good idea not to just generally assume that all human interactions just going to lead to fear, ego, drama, you know. Here we got the Orphan. So I think there's a bit of loneliness here, and maybe that's why this lesson is coming out, because, you know, this fear of dealing with people or expressing yourself or being your true self is causing you, you know, a lot of loneliness. The Orphan, the wounded child, the abandoned, the beggar. To study the orphan is to study the deep and challenging energy of our time. We are ever more connected, yet face collective isolation. And that's how I was picking up isolation sort of here, like being alone. Yeah. We are in a time of universal orphanage, of nature, of each other, of our own hearts. Take refuge in the fact that we all share this core wound and dilemma. Yeah, this is, so this energy, you know, it's really, when it's in its light, it's about peace, you know, but even if you are, it's like being fine with yourself. But when it's in the shadow, it avoids people. It's like very controlling, very closed off and distant. So, you know, in this case, if you're so afraid of human interaction, first of all, try breaking those vows. Maybe you might feel a little bit better. If there's kind of like fear of sickness, just try to manage that. But yeah, I guess there's if you really like, if you're avoiding people out of fear, I think you're gonna have to deal with that fear, because you're here specifically to have interactions. Like, if the universe cut you a break by letting you not be on Earth for a while, you had to come back to learn these lessons and kind of like work through your fears. I think like the universe is pretty nice like that. Like, okay, you had a rough time, we'll give you a break. But ultimately, you're here, you incarnate to learn. So that's why you have to come back. You can't like come here, choose to come here, and then just be afraid of people all the time. Or you can, but you're just not going to learn anything. So yeah, that's what you have, pile 3. Google anything you find interesting. Thanks. Hi, pile 4. You chose the Hematoid Smoky Quartz. It's a very cool looking stone, so I wanted to pick it up. And this is the Millennium Toss deck that I kind of forgot about, so I dug it out again. So let's move this over, put this here. But we're gonna get Oracle decks first. So as I explained, okay, I think these are called Phoenix Reincarnation cards. That's what they're called. But as I explained in the other piles, the purpose of past life readings to me is to kind of focus on what things you need to learn in this life, which themes are left over from past lives. And overall, they're pretty interesting just to get you thinking. I think so. I spent many hours reading Wikipedia articles on the stuff that came up in my readings. Okay, I'm going to go for that. And I'm not going to flip them over quite yet. And then this one, these are the reincarnation cards. So I just use my pendulum to ask which piles I should draw from. So you got location, environment, termination, theme, and occupation that we can potentially draw from. So I'll just see which ones. Do we want occupation? Yes. Do you want theme? No. Do we want termination? Yes. Do we want environment? No. Do we want location? Yes. Okay. All right. So it's occupation, termination. Like, I hope I picked the right ones. How could I have forgotten already? Anyway, let's see what we got for occupation. This one, I almost kind of felt, I don't know if it's because of the deck and the stone, that this might be a little bit more intense, but we'll find out. We will go for this one. And this one. Okay. Then I'm just gonna go and draw this one first. Yeah. So the interesting thing about this, because all 3 decks can have, these 3 can have locations in them, they might not necessarily be the same location. And I've had to do some kind of like really hardcore Googling to figure out how they connected. But sometimes I think, especially in this very general reading, not only could it represent multiple lives, but it could just probably represent multiple people. So really, in this case, only stick with what resonates to you. And if there's something that maybe, if you like Googled something, even if it didn't resonate, maybe there's something there for you. That's all I can say. You definitely have to have an open mind when it comes to this stuff. I'm going for this card. Didn't mean to throw it. And then now, the Akashic Records. So this will give a good indication on themes that from the past life that you need to work on in this life. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, the Celtic Mirror. And we got Builder, number 8. Accident. An accident building, huh? 58. And then Islamic. Interesting. Male, female. Oof. Okay. Ghosts. War and battle. Shamanic initiations. Well, yeah, this one's definitely more intense. But this is, yeah, so first of all, Celtic Mirror, that's the past life connection to Celtic cultures, which, if you don't know, Celtic is not just limited to Ireland. That's just where it's still more prominent. But the Celts actually came from more Central Europe, like Middle East, Asia type area. And some say they actually migrated from India, much, if, as I was explaining in other ones, like the ancient cultures that lived on Atlantis and Lemuria, which Lemuria existed first, sank, and then Atlantis rose. Some people went to Atlantis, but these cultures went to South America to become like the Incans and probably other indigenous cultures around there. The Egyptians to become the ancient Egyptians, the Aboriginals in Australia, and then India as well. And also parts of Africa, obviously. It's like, I think those were like the main hubs, and then people just spread out from there. So it's kind of, people say a lot of cultures like the Gypsies, the Celts, and all that came from those cultures, like coming up from India, because that was the connection to the mainland. And also there's a connection with Celtic culture and Islamic I ended up reading this, going down a Google rabbit hole, that actually there was a raid in Ireland where they kidnapped, I don't know, quite hundreds, I can't remember, it's like 200 or 1,000 people from a specific town, and made them slaves in like the Middle East. So, I mean, that kind of, with this builder here, and wars and battles, like there was so many battles going on in the Middle East in those ancient times. So, yeah, it could be a situation like that. And it's probably pretty realistic to have been in an accident while you were a builder, especially if you were a slave builder. And with this male to female, this means that either in this life or your previous life, you were the opposite gender. So if you kind of feel like you have either, maybe gender identity for you, maybe you're more gender fluid, or, you're more masculine female or feminine male. If you kind of just feel odd in your body in general, it could be because you either spent your last life as the opposite gender, or you spent most of your lives as the opposite gender. So that could be a major theme in this life. And then wars and battles, so that's obviously if there's an accident war in your building. That could have just been a theme. And with the ghosts, like I can imagine if you lived in like a war-torn area, that, being surrounded by so much death probably is a big, I don't want to say stress, but like a big theme. Like I'm sure you'd probably become kind of desensitized to that sort of thing after a while if you see so many people die. So that can also, maybe you feel a bit haunted, or you don't understand war and conflict, like it really bothers you, or you're really numb to it. Maybe you feel like it's a very natural thing that wars go on, people die, etc., you know. But there could be a bit of, you know, when it comes to having experienced other people's deaths so much. And wow, these shadows are really creepy now that I'm noticing them. I'd never noticed like these shadows. Oh man, don't be creeped out. Nah. Shamanic initiations. So really that's about, I might have to get the book on that. But that's kind of like tapping into your subconscious a bit more. And I don't know if this is like something you experienced in past lives. So, you know, shamans actually like specific culture and specific area, but many cultures kind of have those shamanic excuse me, what am I trying to say? Shamanic, what am I saying? Methods. Okay, I don't know what word I'm really trying to go for here. Just like you know, the deeper meditations and you know, visiting other worlds, communing with spirits in other worlds. So maybe you have this ability, it's something you might have done in a past lifetime, but you kind of see it in the spooky way. You don't see it as a very spiritual experience. You view it as like a very creepy, fearful experience. And that might be something that you have to, you know, whether you're kind of like a natural medium, you know, or you see spirits. Like I can't imagine seeing spirits, you know, the universe doesn't show us anything that we're not prepared for. And I think the universe knows that I'm not prepared to just straight up see a spirit, you know, maybe one day, I don't know. But if you have those kind of abilities, it might have been something that you actually feared. And even if you weren't seeing spirits, like passed away spirits, maybe the idea of like, say, connecting to your spirit guides during a shamanic journey creeps you out. Like you just think it's not a good thing for you to do, which, okay, it's fine if it's not your thing, but coming at it from a place of fear is something you would have to get over. I would say not get over, you know, work through, you know, your soul lesson. I think your soul lesson is maybe to let go of your fear of the spirit world and understand that it might come from lifetimes of being exposed to conflict, or just specific lifetime that you have to work on here. Okay. Yeah, we got 5 of Pentacles, worry. And then we got the Star. So that's like healing. It's 17. So yeah. I am kind of sensing like a bit of fear and anxiety. And I'm also sensing that it's something that you really keep under the surface. Like you don't really, you know, you might even be one of those types that you have this fear, but maybe you like try to face it head on by being really into like spooky stuff. We got Knight of Disc. And this is, wow, this is interesting, Knight of Disc. He almost looks like, I don't know, he's just, he doesn't even really seem like he's sitting on that horse. It's like he's standing. It's very interesting. But maybe that seems almost like the reluctant knight. So I would say if this was a past life in which you were a slave, or how do you say it, conscripted into an army, you fought reluctantly. And maybe you killed people reluctantly too. And that's part of where this ghost and haunted comes from. Like maybe if you feel like you connect to the spirit world, you're just going to be faced with all the souls that you killed in the past. Which honestly, I don't really, I can't really speak from experience. I don't really think that's how life lessons work. I don't think, you know, because we all, that's when you kind of reach a certain level of understanding about how the universe incarnation works. You learn that you know, it's not about right or wrong in tracking points, like, you know, in the good place, tracking the points of like whether you're getting into the good place or the bad place. It's not really like that. It's all about lessons. And when you have those sort of experiences where you maybe were not the best person in a past life, or even in this life, the idea is not that you'll be punished. It's more that you'll just have to come back again and learn those lessons. And that happens within your lifetime anyway. So the Knight of Cups is here. So yeah, I'm kind of like, this guy has a crab. This is very, and wings. This is like an angel knight. So with these two knights being next to war and battles, I'm seeing like two distinct people. Like maybe, yeah, I'm just going to say what comes to my head. Like some kind of even same-sex relationship in this kind of war that might have taken place, whether that applies to you or not. But I think with this male to female being here, there is some kind of connection with gender. And perhaps like there was a situation. You know, I really think of the Umbrella Academy, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone. If you know that show, you know what I'm talking about. Like kind of the same sex and war and love and stuff like that, because look at that Knight of Cups. And yeah, the Knight of Disc does seem like the reluctant knight still, but yeah, that might be a theme here. And there might be also some fear associated with that too. Like, and if you're in a strict society like Islamic society, even though I understand like there's different each, you know, Islam's like way more complicated than is portrayed in our shitty media, right? And I understand like there's different ways. Oh, nice. Look at this. Peace, stalemate. So yeah, there's different approaches to how the different cultures handle homosexuality and things like that. So either way, you know, there could have been some issues. So we got Princess of Wands, Page of Wands, and Prince of Swords. Then we have Death. So let's so peace. Yeah, so there could have been something to this relationship. I don't know which energies match with which. Like, because this is a progression of maturity here from the princess and prince, you know, the page energy to the knight energy. So someone who could have really started out like very immature and adventurous, matured into something more heart-centered, and where someone was very maybe closed off or, you know, combative, led to a more stable energy, a more, yeah, something more stable, peaceful. And with this peace, I do think this may be a theme here, and why this war and battles came out, and this death too under this ghost. So there might be some inner issue, either, well, even not even inner, but if you kind of feel like the sense of being very sensitive or just very aware of conflict, you know, not only in your own country but other countries, it could be because of your past lives, like really being involved in conflicts, maybe even being the victim of a conflict or having others being the victim of the conflict. So I would say there's just this, you know, don't be afraid that ghosts will haunt you if you connect with higher, if you go deeper or connect with spirit guides, you know, I don't think you really have to worry. Woo, 2 fell out. Let's see. Wow. We got the kiss, so that kind of also like the relationship thing is kind of being, and the eternal child. I'm gonna have to look that up. So the kiss is definitely a relationship. I think that's, you know, kind of obvious. So I think there was a significant relationship here. I don't know if you were the one. Were you lost? Did they die before you? Who knows? But there could be some deeper issues there. Yeah, this is just... Yeah, the kiss is just reinforcing that. Yep, that's an intimate relationship there. I won't go any further. Let's see. We got 4. The eternal child. The inner child, the child of joy. The eternal child is connected to the timeless, ageless, and infinite aspects of life. It is radiant and fearless and seeks joy above all else and at any cost. It struggles being bound to an aging body with physical limitations in a world that demands attention to detail and logistics. Yeah, so that's kind of... really bringing back that maturity. Oh, sorry. That maturity theme. So I think if in this lifetime, if you reincarnated with this person, not only are you maybe... Actually, like here, we got the princess and the prince. So maybe in this lifetime, you were opposite sex. Who knows? But in this lifetime, you're same sex. So that could just be... I don't feel like that's like a big theme here. But it just could be something that resonates for you. But you only really made it to this night energy, I feel, in this relationship. So this eternal child, I guess, is asking... or your lesson might be to mature more, especially in the context of this relationship, you know, while not losing that kind of like innocence, happiness, you know, the good parts of your inner child. But yes, in this lifetime, if this relationship didn't get the chance to mature because early death or wars, it should get the chance to mature in this lifetime. So hopefully that kind of made sense. You might have to do a lot of Googling, you know, like I did. But yes, that's your reading, pal 4. Thank you.